Hey guys, welcome to Daily Bible Study. We're glad you decided to join us tonight. We're going to be getting into 1 Chronicles 16, 17, and 18. And we're not necessarily going to focus so much on the dynamics around David bringing the Ark of the Covenant back in and the celebration that ensued. Because of that, we've studied that before. I really want to talk about the value of symbolism and the contemporary significance of symbols in our worship expressions today, right? So, in his book, The New Era of Communication, Pierre Babin, he analyzed the impact of technology on religious communication, right? So the new era of religious communication, he kind of connects to this, right? So he has two different ways in which communication exists. There's a conceptual language, and then there is a symbolic language. And so the conceptual language may be defined as that form of communication that provides an abstract, limited and fixed representation of reality, right? The symbolic language is full of resonance and rhythms, stories and images and suggestions and connections. Now, to that end, he connects the importance of the symbolic language as a way of how the believers and those that walked with God all throughout the Bible really express this way. And you see that historically in this way, right? So, historically, both ancient and modern societies have employed symbolic representation, right? And so we're talking about the Ark of the Covenant as a symbolic representation. And what the Ark of the Covenant symbolized was God's presence, right? And so it was a visible symbol of God's presence. And so even in the dynamic of Uzziah being killed when he went to grab it was a symbol of how we can't just approach a holy God, right? So there was a physical symbol there, right? Not that that's a story we like to focus too much in on, but it was a symbol, right? So ancient and modern societies have employed this kind of symbolism, right? And they do it through intervention, right? Which is art as a means of representing supernatural powers, unseen spiritual forces, and the mystery of religious thought and experience, right? There's affiliation to this, which is art as a means of defining family and community relationships and to legitimize the right to rule of the leadership class in society. Documentation, which is art as a means of memorializing momentous events and recording significant traditions. Aesthetic contemplation, which is art as a means of enhancing the physical environment and stimulating emotions. Now, what does all this mean? I think what it means for us is the conceptual idea of language and the modernization of our both literacy in our culture and the dangers at times that we have strayed away from the importance of symbolism. I think we have to connect to this truth and maybe work towards reevaluating sign and symbol in our worship. And so sign and symbol are reemerging as an important form of communication as a result of a shift from conceptual to symbolic forms of communication, right? Visual aid, arts, and things like that, right? People want to experience the whole thing. Sign and symbol have a long history in the Christian church as a means of signifying affiliation, expressing divine intervention, contemplating all kinds of things, right? Sign and symbol constitute indirect forms of communication, right? We can see things and we can know, whether it's through murals and all kinds of stuff, right? Artistic expression has not escaped the effects of the fall. And so we have to also, while doing this, note the risk associated with the use of sign and symbols, because there have been moments where these things have to be reevaluated because maybe we're looking at them too literally, right? But they have been effectively employed in the Christian church not only to worship but in instruction, in showing visual aids, right? Signs and symbols, right? And when you look at the church calendar and all the offices and things that happen in that, you see sign and symbol, including the use of colors. They're readily connected to cycles of Advent, Epiphany, Lent, Easter, Ascension, Pentecost. All of that connects to sign and symbol. And that is clearly what the Ark of the Covenant was used as. So if you read 1 Chronicles 16, 17, and 18, I want you to think about it that way, about the use of sign and symbol. And maybe start to reevaluate the importance of that even in our worship experiences today. Reading something, seeing something, experiencing something, right? Watching it through art, whether it's through liturgy or whether it's through murals, right? These are the way that the church has always operated for both practical and regular situations. So I hope that blesses you guys tonight. We love you, and we want you to continue to be with us this week.